Do you hate writing copy? You're in pretty good company. Hey, that's why I have a job, right? But here are 10 things that you didn't know about writing copy that may surprise you. Okay. Thing number one, you're overthinking it. I know you're rolling your eyes right now. But listen, writing copy is just it's like having a conversation, right? We tend to feel like because it has the word right in it that it's this big production. Now I'm not saying that you should just, slapdash your way through writing your copy, but we allow ourselves to get into this analysis paralysis because we overthink the process, right? Now, there are lots and lots of different ways that you can write copy, and they are all valid. Okay, most of them are valid. But the first thing that you need to understand is you're overthinking it. A lot of people overthink it for this reason. You're telling yourself you're not a good writer, right? I hated English in high school. I never did well on papers. Y'all, listen, it's not true. Well, I mean, that may be true, but writing copy, sales copy, is different than writing an academic paper about Shakespeare, right? I mean, they're two completely different animals. So just because you didn't like writing in high school or that you feel like you're not good at writing for academic settings doesn't mean that you're not a good writer. So stop telling yourself that limiting belief. You need some affirmations. I am a good writer. I can express myself through writing. Go ahead. Good. All right, number three, here's one thing that people don't really get. Writing for direct response marketing, which is what I do, sales copy. It's less about the writing and more about understanding who you're writing to. That's the biggest thing that people don't get. If you intimately understand your ideal customer, the words come more easily because it's like talking to a friend. It's talking to someone that understands and that wants to be understood and wants to know that they're not alone. And when you can do that through your sales copy, now that can be through sales pages, that can be through ad copy, that can be through email marketing, whatever it is. If you can make a connection with the person on the other side of the screen, it's a lot easier to write to them. We don't have all these rules that so many of us think that writing has, right? Now, look, I love me some English grammar, besides the fact that that was improper English grammar. But writing a direct sales marketing kind of perspective is very, very different. So you're not writing for a teacher. You're not writing to score an A on a paper. You're writing to connect. That means you don't have to be grammatically perfect. You don't need to, use impressive words. Actually, you probably need to stay away from that. Speak in the language that your customer uses, right? Use jargon, use the phrasing, use the slang with reason. Use short, choppy sentences, use short paragraphs, you leave space between your paragraph, like all of this stuff. It goes against everything we're taught in school. And look, I've got 2 English degrees, and this goes against everything that they taught me in getting those degrees. So that was a good use of my money, right? But you don't need to focus on your paper being grammatically perfect. You don't need to think about, is it a compound or a compound complex sentence? Like none of that matters. Copywriting is very, very different from academic writing. And nobody is grading you on your copywriting. Now, if your copywriting doesn't convey your brand, if it's not coherent and cohesive with who you are and what you're selling, it's going to turn some people off. But you're not going to get a grade on your copy. So stop worrying about it. Number 7, there are actually some basic formulas that can help you write copy more easily. One of them is called PAS, where you introduce the problem, you agitate the problem, Agitate always makes me think of like the washing machine. So you introduce a problem, you agitate the problem, or as one of my beloved mentors says, you twist the knife, and then you offer the solution, right? That is one of the really tried and true copywriting formulas. That doesn't mean that you can write all of your copy from a formula and just plug in, the words you need, but you don't have to come up with this from scratch. You can learn how to write better copy. And really, the only way to get better at copy is to write it. I know, that's like something a parent says. Well, I'm a parent, and I'm telling you, the only way that you get better at writing is to write. And it's gonna suck at first. Your first copy may be terrible. So one of my favorite writers, whose name is Brené Brown, apparently I talk too fast, she talks about writing your shitty first draft, your SFD. If you can get it out of your head onto paper, that's step one. Don't worry about what it looks like. Don't worry about if the grammar's right. Don't worry about if it's spelled right. Get it out of your head. That's the first step. The only way to get better at it is to do it. And then you revise and you do it again and you write again, and you'll eventually become more confident. There is no shortcut. There is no magic pill, except hiring a copywriter, which if you would like to do, check the description below for more information. But you've just got to do it. You've got to get over that limiting belief that you're not good at it, and you just got to do it. Number 9 is hire a copywriter. Now, hiring a copywriter can certainly help you write with your copy. And I do it every day, and I love it. However, there are things that a copywriter really needs for you to have in place in order to write your copy. One of those things is a very deep understanding of your audience. If you don't have that, no copywriter is going to be able to help you create the perfect copy for your audience because you don't know who they are. So you really need to have a strong handle on who your audience is, what your brand voice is. And that doesn't mean you have to have a fancy brand voice document, but just how do you talk to your audience? What do you say? What do you not say? What kind of language do you use? Even very simple things can go a long way in helping a copywriter help you. Other things you need to understand, and this seems kind of silly, but you need to understand your offer. If you're a service provider, not just what services you provide, but what are the benefits of the services that you provide? Not just that I'm a copywriter and I'll write your copy and that's the benefit, but I'll write compelling copy that encourages your ideal customer to click and convert into a client, right? I mean, like, why should somebody work with you? A copywriter can help you figure that out sometimes, but you really need to understand that first. And finally, number 10, writing copy is actually a lot easier when you write more like you speak. Short sentences, simple language, no $5 words, unless maybe it was a word in Wordle or something that you feel like you need to integrate. But this is not the time to channel your inner Jane Austen, right? Not the time at all. You need to talk to your audience in the language that they use so that they feel that connection with you. You know how it is when you hear somebody who talks kind of like Sheldon on Big Bang Theory, right? He has a way of talking that I just don't relate to because I'm not a science genius or whatever it is he does. But if you talk to somebody where they are, your copy is going to be much more effective. So throw out all of those limiting beliefs and those false ideas about what copy should be and just write. This sounds cheesy. Write from your heart, like write to the person that you're helping. Put them in your head. Maybe think of a single client that you can write to and focus on the problem that you're solving and not on whether or not you use the right form of there, and there. Although you probably do need to check that. And you should use Grammarly for that. I highly recommend it. The important thing is, and coming from a former English teacher, this is hard for me to say. The important thing is that you get the ideas across. The rest of it can be cleaned up later, but get the ideas across, and that will help you connect with your ideal customer. Did I teach you something you didn't know about writing sales copy? Do you have something I didn't mention? Drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.